Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. We are here for the Qatar Grand Prix at the Lusail International Circuit. A big welcome to you here this evening. And the championship can be decided this evening. My audio levels are ridiculously low, so without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my co-commentator. Brendan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. We are for championship match point. It is in Luke Davies' court at the moment. I'll have the first serve, really. And that since he is the championship leader, it's on his hands. But it wouldn't take too much for this to swing the other way. Like, you could wrap it up tonight, but could very easily be under pressure in this come to finale, because he has a championship, but some people would say he hasn't been able to do it when Legend Rosenberg has been round. And the question then is, that question was going to play out once again yesterday, because for a period of time we did believe that Legend would not be racing here, and it would effectively be Luke Davies just trying to get the title wrapped up against Tyler Davison. But Legend is here, and now the pressure is on. I think Legend's actually going to go first here, so suppose Evan want to keep an eye on this lap?
Yeah, we will. It'll be very intriguing to see what Legend Rosenberg can do. I've no idea what's going on with my microphone. 1 week without issues would be absolutely lovely. But sometimes things are too much to ask for, it seems. So, Brendan, just quickly, if you want to run through Legend's lap, I will leave you away at that.
Yep, so Legend come towards the end of Sector 1 here, out into a heavy braking zone. You have 26.3 for the first sector. We'll see how quick that is in context in a minute. You just have to keep the car stable through there now. Again, this is more high speed, flat out. Breakdown long corner. Oh, that wasn't great. Oh, and it's invalid. So first run gone, but we're going to have to do a little bit of battery saving here, which is not on the cards. So maybe I think Legend could bail into the pits here and just maybe he'll have to give up with that set of tyres. Oh, a bit wide. And into the pits, yeah, the first run is gone for Rosenberg.
Yeah, so not a great
Davison, on the other hand, seems.
As there is
sorry there.
Yathan Panguru. That's something we'd never really seen before. Yathan Panguru has just gone top of the order, and Yathan back this week ahead of Jonathan Jurgens Mayer there in third position. There goes Luke Davies, the soon to be potentially World Drivers' Champion, who is up at the top of the order. Then it is Lewis McWilliam ready for the final corner. Davison goes a second slower than Luke Davies. Let me know if my audio is fixed now. I don't know, it seems to change every week, so hopefully it can be okay now. Here comes Lewis McWilliam though towards the start-finish line. Is he going to beat Luke Davies? Won Singapore Grand Prix last time out. He will beat Luke Davies by 0.5 of a second. That is quite a margin. We have Jack Redmond on a hot lap as well. I believe we've Boar Bune coming towards the final few corners. No, he's actually still in the first sector, is young Bune, so we will keep further eye on him. No Adrian Tishy here this evening. We have a the second Wexford driver from the Republic of Ireland in history. It's Conor Rochford, who is in the McLaren alongside Luke Davies. Good day for the parish, I think.
You could say that. Yeah. And just for context, Legend's first sector was 26.3, so that was a tenth faster than McWilliams. So it looks like at the moment Rosenberg is doing what he has to do. Well, all that he can do, really. In this championship battle, I think it'd be important if we could just remind them of the what needs to happen. I think Davies has to outscore Rosenberg by 5, so obviously if Legend finished ahead, this goes to the finale. Hello?
Sorry, I was muted on all ends because I was checking the audio because I thought you were going to talk through the permutations. I had to click about 7 buttons in the space of 2 minutes. That is Nathan Marriott, who goes to 4th for Williams Racing. I don't know what happens with this microphone. You buy the fancy equipment and none of it ever works. But Nathan Marriott is in 4th, returning this week after a trip to somewhere, not sure where, but I know he was somewhere. Tyler Pistilli in the Mercedes for this evening. Pistilli, of course, had a good day out at Silverstone. He's here for a second race this evening, and he is looking to do the business in that Mercedes car. But we will we'll wait and see how that plays out later on this evening. Not many times on the board, mind you, or certainly not many competitive ones. McWilliam is 0.5 to the better, but Legend Rosenberg is going to go on his next qualifying endeavour around this Qatar Grand Prix circuit, and we'll wait and see how this plays out for him. Here comes Rosenberg down the main straight in towards turn number 1. It's a 371 metre run from pole position to the first corner. About 68% of this lap will be taken a full throttle by the Dutchman in towards turn number 1 using 4th gear. You want to just rotate the car nicely. This is a beautiful track to hot lap. Some drivers say, some drivers absolutely hate it. I know Lewis McWilliam not very fond of the Qatar Grand Prix. Don't think Jack Redmond is either. Whereas Tyler Davison quite likes this circuit, maybe more so on a 2-wheel machine such as a MotoGP bike, but certainly does like this circuit. Rosenberg 26.4 in the first sector. Brendan, was that quicker or slower than Lewis?
I think Legend at the moment, I'll just check for you quickly, just a second comparison. So yeah, Rosenberg, 26.4. It's not as quick as he went himself, but it is quicker than McWilliam, if I'm not mistaken.
And certainly it's valid this time round as well. That's a yellow flag. That's actually his teammate Tim Den Hyer that's getting out of the way through the triple right-handers. There's an improvement there. Conor Rochford goes to 4th with McLaren, so it seems like McLaren have 2 good representees here this evening. Rosenberg running through the penultimate corner, now the final corner in his Haas machine. Rosenberg, remember, needs to pretty much win here this evening and hope Luke gets further down the grid if he wants to be in a comfortable position heading into Abu Dhabi. But here comes Legend Rosenberg across the start finish line. Is it going to be quickest? Yeah, by 0.4 of a second it's quickest. Legend Rosenberg's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Luke Davies wanted a fight, and my game's never crashed, so I can't really say much.
Well, I think I know what you were going to say. Luke Davies wanted a fight. Now he's got one. He's got the mighty Dutchman who's looking to beat him here and leave his legacy untouched as the superior in Formula Virtual Racing. Lewis McWilliam, of course, tied his championship record, which it was only 3, which is certainly less than Lewis Hamilton or Michael Schumacher in actual Formula 1. But the thing there is, in Formula 1, they've been racing since the 1950s, and only 2 drivers have 7 championships. We've had 11 seasons, and 6 of them have been won by 2 people. could, maybe, 8 of them being won by 3 if Luke Davies could win his second title here. A bit of traffic through turn number 1. Luke Davies was actually the traffic through turn number 1 for Avesta Badi, who was on an out lap though, so it wasn't really traffic. He was for Lewis McWilliam though, who is on a hot lap. Let's see what this first sector is like for the Scotsman, heading into the right-hander, as he has invalidated that one. Oh, he's made a meal of that. Lewis McWilliam, big snap for his Scuderia Ferrari, rounding through that section of track. That was a really weird one for Lewis McWilliam, but he's kept it out of the wall, and he will be able to keep going in this session. Tyler Davison now is the next man to start his qualifying, or sorry, to continue his qualifying endeavour, I should say, as he rounds in towards the middle sector. Brendan, has your game started back up again?
Yeah, well, I'm loading back in there. Should be not too long. Just all we need to do is just get in to it here, yeah. It'll probably just be about 20-30 seconds.
Okay, well, we'll keep with Tyler Davison for the time being. Tyler pretty much needs to win here this evening if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive. He is the only man in this championship battle who's never won a Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers title. You can see there on the points. Luke Davies 140, Tyler Davison 112. He really needs Luke to have a no score pretty much here this evening, and for him to win the race pretty much. But let's see, can his qualifying go a little bit better. He is certainly a driver that succeeds more so in the races than he would in qualifying, so that's something to note. And Kyle Albert working beautifully here with his fellow Brit to give him a slipstream. Kyle standing in for Morris Sturmer this evening, gives Davison the toe, and he puts it ahead of Luke Davies. I suppose that's all he can really ask for. He goes ahead of Luke Davies. That's what he's looking to do here this evening. Davies, though, is on his second qualifying lap here. He's about a 9/10 of a second off that pole lap from Legend Rosenberg, but I think there's more in the tank maybe for Luke Davies here this evening. Let's wait and see. Yep, that's a big first sector. He's up by a 10.5.
Yeah, that's just interesting. Davison being a bit of an outsider, really, in the whole championships fight. Like, he is there.
Yeah, and he has a lot of work to do if he wants to stay in the championship fight, to be honest.
Hang on.
Did need to.
Hang on after.
Is everything okay?
Sorry, I'm gonna have to restart my PlayStation. Saying the session no longer exists.
Okay, that's okay. Let me know if everything is okay there, Brendan. But let's wait and see what Luke Davies can do on his qualifying lap. Riding through the final corner now. There is 16 of them on this Qatar Grand Prix circuit. Luke Davies is hoping to do it as close to a 120.2 as possible across the line. That's going to be still 2/10 off Lewis McWilliam. Still 6.5 off Legend Rosenberg. When you're in the championship fight and the best you can do is 6.5 tenths of a second off your rival, that takes a mental toll. I also have a feeling that this championship might certainly go on to Abu Dhabi if that's the pace Legend Rosenberg can produce. But still 5 minutes and 45 left to go here in qualifying for the Qatar Grand Prix. There's still plenty of time for these drivers to get some good laps on the board, and we will keep a close eye on Luke and Legend, certainly, but there is other runners here who could prove a shock. Tyler Pistilli is one of those, of course, who might be able to get up towards the top of the order. He usually just does a load of laps in qualifying and then puts a big one in right at the end. He wasn't able to get up the order at Silverstone, but he is going to look to get up the order towards the end here at Qatar. He got up the order in the race, of course, in Silverstone, but it was a bit of a weird British Grand Prix in that regard. Let's see what Cam Doga can do. This is his first lap of the session across the start-finish line for the Aston Martin. That's good enough, and it's going to put him in the top 10. It's 9th position for the Turkishman. Just, literally 1,000 of a second behind Jack Redmond, who's in 8th. He splits the two Alfa Romeos. Alfa Romeo, maybe not the strongest season this season. If we take a look at the constructor standings, of course, Alfa Romeo are bottom. But they've got 2 cars in the top 10 here in qualifying. That's not half bad. How's the PlayStation going, Brendan?
I've got the restart in and just going to be joining the lobby then hopefully in the next minute.
Okay, keep us updated as we will take a look further down the field at Nils Hartl, who's won a few on a qualifying lap. The only 4 cars on the racing surface are Nils Hartl, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Tyler Pistilli, and Can Dulger. Remember, of course, one man who's currently 11th in the qualifying session here, Vesta Gobadi. He won this race last season. He beat Luke Davies in a last lap thriller to take the race victory, and that was a big win for Avesta that season. He's looking to get back on his form pre-Monza this season. He was in the championship fight, but things went very wrong for him at Monza. He picked up a race suspension, then took a little bit of or he planned to take a little bit of a sabbatical, but actually took unwell for a week or two. So it's great to have him back here with us. It's great to have Avesta cooking, as the cool kids would say. Jurgensmeyer in towards the final corner now. Let's wait and see. Oh, that's wide. Yeah, he's going to stay off the circuit here to try to finish his lap. No, kicks back onto it, and that's invalid from Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Tried the sneaky tactic, and now he's retired from the session. Jurg, what are you doing? I don't know what Jonathan Jurgensmeyer has just done, but it's an absolute disaster class, is what it was. Lewis McWilliam is back out on the circuit. He's taking the MotoGP long lap loop. Lewis McWilliam serving a MotoGP penalty. Dorna will be really happy with him for that, because he served a penalty he's not received. And God knows MotoGP love to hand out penalties. So do F1, to be fair.
And they should be in here finally.
Brendan is back with us, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we've dropped 6,000 frames since starting the stream. I haven't noticed one single one of them, so I do hope everything is okay on your end, folks. If there is any issues, please... Kyle Alberts made a great point as I read the stream chat. Avesta has a qualifying ban. He's currently 12th. He set a lap. That's an oopsie.
Well,
that is a big oopsie.
Enjoy your ban in Abu Dhabi, I guess.
Enjoy your ban in Abu Dhabi, or a bit of a retirement on the circuit. Brendan, if you have a second, could you invite Julius Gassner? He's looking for an invite. But so Avesta, not the return he was looking for, like we were saying. But let's have a look at Lewis McWilliam then. Usually good on the final lap in qualifying. That's where he's put his big pole laps in that have been watched by many over the years. Let's wait and see. He's heading in towards the right-hander of turn number 4 and turn number 5, I should say. This is where he invalidated his second run. Remember, that lap that's currently on the board is still Lewis McWilliam's banker time. And he is purple in the first sector, it's telling us. The red light is actually flashing on the back of that car. I'm not sure if that's something maybe to do with the fact it's night time or something along that regard, but we'll wait and see. Oh, a bit of a slide from the Scotsman, heading in towards the turn 6 and 7 section of the circuit. Or, sorry, I should say turn 8 and 9. Oh, Lewis! No, this is not a good lap from Lewis McWilliam, as Can Dulger has been given a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Julius Gassner. Sorry, Brendan, you don't have to invite Julius, he's in the session. Oh wow, there's a lot of traffic. There's 2 Aston Martins. That's actually the Aston Martin teammates. That's Can Dulger getting a penalty off his teammate. Wow, 2 McLarens parked here in the final sector as well. Lot of traffic for Lewis McWilliam on his lap. Surely this isn't going to be an improvement. The amount of moments and the amount of traffic he's had on this lap, it would be a miracle if this was able to get even close to Legend Rosenberg. He's weaving across the line. Lewis is not happy, and he spins it into the wall, and that'll be him out of the session. Lewis, a waste of an opportunity there. He certainly put Luke Davies off his lap as he just starts his now.
Yeah, it's all on the line now. Obviously, McWilliam, it's done. I think the priority for Davies here is probably just to limit the possible damage here based on Legend's pace. Because I think otherwise you just need to keep as close as you can, really. Maybe hope that McWilliam has something up his sleeve.
Well, I think for the sake of this race, we need to hope Lewis has something up his sleeve. Otherwise, it's got to be another Silverstone where Legend goes unchallenged. But let's wait and see what Luke can do on his final run before we make any comment on how the race might go. He's got an Aston Martin in front of him. That's the same one Lewis had. That is Julius Gassner, I believe. We need to keep an eye on Davison as well as we keep an eye on him. Oh. Davison spins it into the gravel and into the wall. Luke will have a first-person view of that. He'll see it. That is a blunder from the AlphaTauri here. We're not sure how that lap was tracking, but certainly you don't want to end your lap in the gravel. Here comes Luke Davies. What can he do on his final run? no improvement for Rosenberg. Davies across the line, a marginal improvement for him. Conor Rochford doesn't improve on his time either. Contending higher, I'm not sure. What about Nathan Marriott? He might be able to maybe break into the top 6 here with this lap. Across the line he does, he goes 6th. Good lap for him. If has to go bad, he pulls over to the right-hand side. There'll be no improvement for him, and that leaves Legend Rosenberg untouched at the top, and he'll take pole position for the Qatar Grand Prix. A great lap from Rosenberg, but really there was no challenge throughout the entire session. Lewis made an absolute botch job of his final run. Didn't just back off and save the tyres at the first mistake. Decided to carry on with it, and then decided to weave on the straight like an imbecile and crashed out of qualifying. But your top 17 for the Qatar Grand Prix, it's Legend Rosenberg on top, then it is Lewis McWilliam, Luke Davies, Tyler Davison, Conor Rochford, Nathan Marriott. Unfortunately, folks, we're not going to catch the end of that, but we will run you through the starting grid when we are back after a short commercial break.
Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion.
This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
Welcome back to the Qatar Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. That's Singapore on your screen, so we're going to head trackside because we should be starting shortly. Brendan, quick prediction from yourself.
I think very much Legend would be the logical option here. Maybe in comparison to Silverstone,
let's hold
it
that
might
thought
not be
once
as
again.
easy.
As we head to the grid here for the Qatar Grand Prix live at the Lusail International Circuit. We go racing here in Qatar. That's a great start from Lewis McWilliam. Oh no, it's not actually. He's not got up the gears well at all. It's a great start from Legend Rosenberg and Luke Davies. Davies on the outside. Luke Davies almost sent round at turn number 1. That would have been absolutely drastic for this championship battle. If Lewis McWilliam had made contact with his former rival, that would have been a travesty. But Luke Davies has got up the gears well. Davison is in second. Seems to be being held up a little bit here by Lewis McWilliam. He's Nathan Marriott on his inside and towards the right-hander. Luke has got to just keep it cool here because he's looking to wrap up the championship today. And if he gets involved in an incident and is sent round, that will jeopardise not his chance here today, but his chance in Abu Dhabi. Legend Rosenberg once again capitalises on those in second and downwards battling, and he is up and flying at the top. Seems to be a little bit of desync maybe, as Tyler Davison actually has gone with a hard compound tyre as opposed to Lewis, Luke and Nathan on the medium.
Yeah, it's a bold call, but it might not be the worst one. So Davison, he has to do a little bit more to try to keep in this whole fight. So he has to outscore, I suppose, opposed to just having to be in Legend position where Davies has to outscore to beat him. Davison has to do the outscoring just to stay alive. But if Rosenberg.
Oh, here comes
Awesome
Lewis.
position at
Lewis
the
wants to
moment.
get past Davison. Here comes Lewis McWilliam in towards turn number 1. Looks like Conor Rochford in the background is looking to get past Nathan Marriott. McWilliam takes second place of Tyler Davison, and that puts the old foes together of Davison and Davies. Marriott now trying to defend from the other McLaren on the hard compound tyres. Rochford with great pace here in his debut, and that's a beautiful move from the Irishman. Just hangs it round the outside and gets the job done on the Williams, making an immediate impact. Borbune, the only man to go for the soft tyres. He's currently behind Kyle Albert on the hards, looking to make some moves there. So we'll keep a keen eye on Borbune and see can he get the job done. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer losing out here to Can Dolger, it seems, as the Alpine is going up the inside, heading in towards the right-hander hairpin of turn number 7. Now Can still on the outside. Can hold it round the outside. Oh, he can here, but there was a bit of a nudge from Vestigobadi behind, and Can Dolger sent round. I would be lying if I said I didn't think that was inevitable. As we look further on, up the top of the grid, as Legend Rosenberg's gone. 1.9 seconds, easy as you like.
Yeah, we'll probably need a safety car to try to bring this back, because I think McWilliam didn't have the best start. That prevented him from making much of a fight against Rosenberg, and now Rosenberg's just gone. You see here, look, he's in 4th. It's not the worst place to be in, but I will just do some calculations, like permutations, as we go, so that we have an idea of what's going on and who will be in for next week.
Brendan's here because he can actually do math. We had the good thing last season in Saudi Arabia
We're not
was
American.
I didn't have to do live maths because Luke at the championship wrapped up before qualifying started, so that was quite easy. But I mean, it's going to carry on here because to win it today, Luke needed to outscore Legend. He's not doing that currently. However, also this would eliminate Tyler, and it would be a two-way fight in towards Abu Dhabi. But the closer it gets, the better for Legend Rosenberg. And even if he could overtake Luke Davies, that'd be even better. But if Legend wins here today, no matter what, it will go to Abu Dhabi. It's currently looking like he will win, unless Lewis McWilliam does have some tricks up his sleeve. Mind you, Legend has burned more battery than Lewis, so Lewis not... Okay, he's 2 seconds behind, he's not losing, and he's also saving his car a little bit better as of now, but I suppose you can save your car all you want. If he's not close to Legend, he'll never overtake him.
Yeah, at the moment, well, I think Davison could do with snatching a fastest lap and passing McWilliam, because that's the only way he really can stay in. But even then, he'd probably be out by a countback.
As, to be fair, this is a very good race start from Tyler Davison, because he's on the harder compounded tyre as opposed to Luke. Which means if he is quicker than Luke on a harder... a bit of a lag spike there. If he's quicker than Luke on a harder compounded tyre, then he'll certainly be quicker on Luke than Luke on a quicker one. So it's a positive start, if anything, for Tyler.
Yeah, that is true. Will be a positive start, especially as he's already up 1 place. He did jump Luke Davies there overall at the start. But I'd say, obviously, the only problem with the hards is he'll have to make his way through, and if Davies gets DRS off McWilliam, it then becomes a little more difficult than you'd expect. So it could be a case that he might just need a nicely timed safety car.
Oh, Davison wide.
Oh,
Tyler ran a bit wide here. And also, Tyler said coming into this... Tyler seems to be lagging a lot. I really hope something doesn't come from this, because that would just be the epiphany of bad luck. Tyler said today, or he said yesterday, I should say, he's going to race Luke hard here today. Luke is not getting an inch of track space, as Lewis McWilliam, also having a little bit of a wobble here, seems to be maybe a little bit of trouble for some of these cars. This is Den Heyer and Marriott side by side. Tim Den Heyer trying to try it the long way around here in Qatar, and he has to stay behind for the time being. One thing that I keep failing to mention, and that is bad on my own accord, is of course the constructors' standings battle. Haas and AlphaTauri tied on 143 points, McLaren only 2 behind on 141. So this battle still rages on, and both of Haas, McLaren and AlphaTauri's drivers are all in the top 8 here, so it's going to still remain pretty close. I don't have the exact
Yeah.
maths on it, but it'll be close, certainly.
I think Haas at the moment will be getting 29 points, because I think Legend does have the fastest lap. And then obviously 6 for Tims and higher. You're then looking at the McLaren's 12 and 10, that'll be 22. Then AlphaTauri, obviously 3 and 8. So you have the British duo in the Italian team. So that will be 14 and 4 would be 18. So it looks like Haas will be just stretching their legs really here.
And the good thing, if you're interested in the team's battle, I think the only way that can be tied up is if it's a 1-2 with a fastest lap for Haas. Because anything other than that, they can be equalled or beaten by a solitary point. Where if they did get the maximum here, they couldn't be beaten because AlphaTauri would lose on countback on race wins. Here comes Kyle Albert, big send up the inside of the New Zealander of Nathan Marriott, and they're both gone wide. Albert into the gravel, as is Nathan Marriott.
Whoa.
We were just saying things were going well for AlphaTauri in the constructors battle, and Kyle Albert will see the gravel. Very unfortunate there. I'm not sure if that was a racing incident or whether Kyle had a bit of a tank slapper mid-corner and sent them both astray. But that's disappointing because they were both having a very good race.
Well, I'm just going to make the point here actually that, well, yeah, one, that's going to knock off a couple of points for AlphaTauri, so they go down to 14. But Haas are, well, Tim Higher has a penalty already in this race, so very possible that he ends up 9th to 10th, and in that case, you're looking at maybe 24 points, let's say, if he finishes 10th. It's all of a sudden, it's still very, very close.
Also, what I was going to say is, that gap up the front between Lewis and Legend, it's almost at the exact same as it has been since Legend got to plus 2 seconds. It's not really fluctuating that much, which indicates to me that Lewis has good pace here, as there's a bit of weaving going on here from Jack Redmond. He's a Vestigo Badi on his outside. That one is going to be fairly simple for a Vestigo Badi to get the job done. And yes, he is ahead, but there is also Borbune on the inside of the Irishman. Oh, has to be very lucky not to drift out there, does Borbune, because if he drifted out of there, he would have hit the Alfa Romeo, and one, if not both, would have gone round. But those soft tyres, 6 laps, they still seem to be relatively okay for Borbune. He's still trying to make moves, still trying to seek places and time.
I just have a question. Does Leonard McLaren know that Davies is the one leading championship? I'd hope so.
He's one of Jack Redmond's friends, so take that as you will. I would imagine, I would presume not.
Okay, well that's interesting, because if Davies...
Although I would presume that Luke has messaged him, because Luke is very protective of stuff like that. Or not necessarily protective, more sensible. I would presume Luke has popped him a message or spoken to him at some point today to tell him, look buddy, I am in a championship fight here. You are here as a reserve driver in replace of Adrian Tishy. You are assisting me to this title, and there is nothing else other than that. Because, I mean, that is really what it is. Obviously, Rochford wants to perform on debut, but he doesn't want to do a Sam Lewis in the situation and end up taking out his teammate in a championship battle.
That is, on the other side is, this is, as he says, this is Jack Redmond's friend. Obviously, like, offside against Jack Redmond, but we know he just wants to race no matter what, and I'd assume this will be the same for his friends. He just wants to do the best they can, and if they have to pass the guy who's their teammate, who's fighting for a championship, so be it. It's not as if they're the ones in the constructors' battle. So you just don't know, Davey.
The other scary thing for Luke here is Rochford is keeping with him on worse tyres, which is also going to go against Luke come the end of the race, same as it is with Tyler Davison.
Yeah, that is the thing. They're doing very well here. It seems these hards, once they're, as long as you just get through the first 2 or 3 laps, you're fine. And then imagine on lighter fuel loads with a softer compound later on in this race, as you've already used up your hards, use the hards for a couple of laps, it's going to be difficult to keep people behind you. Could be a case that Davison ends up P2, and then Davies ends up P5, and which would turn that into a 3-way title scrap come the final race, where all sorts of permutations come in.
That'd be quite cool. We've never had a freeway scrap in the history of Formula Virtual Racing. That'd be quite cool. But a lot of work still to do, as Luke Davies may be looking to get the job done on Davison. No. And also I mentioned that gap not fluctuating between Lewis and Legend. That's pulled 0.8 of a second since then. Davison with another wobble out of turn number 1. We say he's doing well on the hards, but there's just a couple of moments now where you fear for Tyler that he might not be able to catch, but he's a very good driver. He drives different types of cars, whether it be GTs or Mazda MX-5 Cups or whatever he gets up to. Likes to drive a lot of random cars and random circuits, as do we all, but he cannot afford to get caught out here, because even as of now, he's not doing enough. This is not enough. He would be out of championship contention. He needs to outscore Luke Davies by 6 points.
6 points. A scenario which would help him is the one where the hard tyres can manage themselves in comparison to fresher hard tyres, and then in that undercut period, and then he makes his move up to P2. That would be the best scenario, because if he ends up P2 on about 16 points, Davies potentially maybe P4, P5 on could be even 10 points. That would be what's needed. And in that case, it might become a fastest lap competition. He could still be in this championship fight if things fall his way, but he's going to have to watch here. Davies is very, very close.
Here he goes. Oh, backside of it.
Oh, no.
Very, very sensible from Luke Davies. Very good bit of mature driving from Luke, I think you have to feel there. That was quite clever. As here comes Tyler Pastilli trying a long way around the outside, and Tim Denhire. Wow, the two Mercedes are having a fabulous race here, 7th and 8th. Pastilli now still on the inside looking for this one. Touches wheels with Tim Denhire. Tim Denhire going to keep his Haas in contention here. On the inside, it's a double right-hander. He'll have the inside for both of them. Tim Denhire still ahead. Tim Denhire. Oh, the two Mercedes collect each other. Just as we're saying they're having a good race, Pastilli spins into Gobadi, and the safety car comes out. We've been saying about how the hard tyres were the advantage at this point. Now it's the mediums, because you can box for a set of hards and go on to the end.
Yeah, I think Davison, he may have to take into the pits with them, because otherwise you're in trouble. You're in trouble. I'll just say that.
Wow, that's a turn for the Bucks. And very disappointing for both Mercedes, because they were genuinely having a good race, but safety car out now. That makes things interesting. It really does.
Good news for Mercedes is it seems like there's not too much damage for him.
Rosberg's in.
You see. So is McWilliam and Davison. Yep, all in.
Poor Conor Rochford is going to lose out here in the double stack. Well, he's actually backed up a good bit. Well, I was going to say lose out in the double stack. However, Tim Denhire is way behind him, because he was involved in that incident, so he might be okay here, will young Conor Rochford. But we'll wait and see. McWilliam goes for the hards. What's Davison going to go on to? He's going to go on to the mediums. Oh, this is an almighty gamble for Tyler Davison, and it's not really what he would have wanted, because his race was going quite well. Bourbune's gone on the soft medium. Good man, Bune. He's trying something out of this world. Pastilli's gone on the softs. Okay, I no longer what's going on more.
I suppose they're thinking safety cars breed safety cars.
Very true.
But that's more of an IndyCar and
it's more of
NASCAR kind of type thing, and where in that case it's caution to be cautions.
Although sometimes we can be like a NASCAR race here in FVR, or maybe a Nashville IndyCar race. We did have a car go mid-air a few times.
Well,
the Aaron McFlip, of course, being the most memorable of those.
Well, yeah, to be fair, Nashville last year was actually kind of quiet.
Nashville last year was boringly quiet.
And then, until the absolute end, where then everything started going.
Then Romain Grosjean remembered. He is, in fact, Romain Grosjean. I think that was it might be the year before, I can't remember, but
who's going to remember they are who they are? In what case? Things that might provide.
It's Lewis McWilliam versus Legend Rosenberg at the top. And if this used to be the case in many seasons where they were teammates and both championship protagonists, but Lewis wouldn't dive Legend or make any stupid moves, dare I say now he may try and overtake in this safety car restart, but the only thing is Legend is still going to have great pace here. But he's got to nail this, because if Lewis gets one look up the inside, I think he goes for it.
Yeah, if that happens, there's a scenario here where Tyler does manage to take advantage of this, goes to the lead, and then it's about how well can he defend. We know Tyler he's very, very good wheel to wheel. That's probably his biggest strength. Like, his pace is very good, but wheels. Oh wait,
Pistilli and
what's happened?
Nils Hartl almost, and Jack Redmond almost making contact under the safety car. I think one of them accidentally passed the other, and Pistilli was trying to get back. I don't really know, but they luckily did not hit each other. But yeah, what you were saying, one of Tyler's strengths is his defending and his racecraft. And as a man who has raced with him enough, I know how infuriating he can be to sit behind. But because he is the lead runner on those medium compound tyres, you'd like to think, or you would think, that he has to lead this race at some point, but while he has the tyre advantage, which is difficult because the two drivers in front of him are still really quick regardless of tyre compound. And another potential thing, just while I think of it, are we maybe overanalyzing tyres, and there's not actually that much difference between the two, hence why the hard was so good? And does that mean the medium can go as long, maybe?
Yeah, and I suppose the medium now is not gonna. It has a couple of safety car laps. It might not be quite the task you might think it is. Yeah, and I think we're waiting for a certain Mr. Albert to catch up.
He's just taking his
wonder if
time.
he was. Yeah, I only wonder if he would take a bit more time to help out Tyler, give him the extra lap, but obviously that's not allowed.
Bit of a tactical drop back under the safety car. Is that what we're suggesting, Brendan?
I don't know. I think Mr. Albert would be a person smart enough to think of ways to help his teammate, but I think he's honourable enough to do it by the book.
Remember, Kyle and Tyler spent the season together as teammates back in season 3 in the Racing Point. They, I remember the Memorial Grand Prix at the Sakir International
Wait,
Circuit.
hang on a minute.
Yeah, he's done it, hasn't he? Oh, it hasn't worked.
Oh.
It's not worked. He tried it. God.
Oh no, I think he wants an excuse to go for.
He
He's
was 100% trying that. It's Kyle Albert. He was 100% trying it. He is a king at stuff like this. He is a man who, in every qualifying session he does in a league race, he comes out on a set of intermediates for a lap to start a qualifying.
Actually, there's a funny story of him and Juan basically doing a test on the rule book in one of the races, just for.
That was something him and Juan used to do quite a bit. They would do stuff in races purely to show that my rule book was flawed. But we'll wait and see if Kyle does it again. Here we go, though. Legend is weaving, and he's leaving it late. Obviously knows that turn 1 is probably the best overtaking opportunity and wants to minimise the chances that Lewis McWilliam has got. He's going to leave this right to the start finish line. Legend, you've got to restart this race at some point. He'll do it now. We go racing here in Qatar. What a restart from Luke Davies. He has caught Davison napping, maybe into the first corner, but Tyler's got the gears up correctly. And now they're free wide in the background. Rochford and Borbune and Tim Denhire side by side. And Tim Denhire will come out on top. Still Bune on the inside of Rochford here. Bune, of course, has been on the soft tyres, so he knows how grippy tyres at the start of these race can be. Lewis McWilliam right on the back of Legend Rosenberg here. Vestigo Bardi gets past Nathan Marriott as well. Tyler Pistilli gets past Jack Redmond, and there's a 3-second time penalty for the second of the two McLarens, and in the form of Conor Rochford. Rosenberg, that's not really the start he would have wanted, Brendan. Oh, yeah. Jack Redmond round. Jack Redmond is round, as is Tyler Pistilli. Bit of contact between the two. I think they were running very close on the circuit together.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. The good thing for Bune is he is 6th. He is 6th, and could be in a very nice position there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, checking his tyres, yeah, soft medium. Obviously, he's going to be a bit of a stretch, I suppose, but it's going to work out very well, especially as he doesn't have a penalty yet.
Yeah, he doesn't, and Tim Denhire does, so he'd get that spot as well. But down the main straight we go. Lewis McWilliam very close to the Dutchman, closest he's been all evening, mind you. Not necessarily burning the battery. Avesta's not leading this race. Legend Rosenberg is. Someone has requested to join the lobby. Hello, my friend. Unfortunately, we have 17 foreign drivers here this evening, and also you can't join mid-race. Otherwise, my desperate need for good attendance probably would have let you join. But back to what I was saying is, Legends used a bit of ERS, Lewis hasn't. There we go. That's all I was looking to say, and it took about 2 minutes to say it.
Yeah, it's very, very close here. Williams probably waiting for DRS to be activated because you just want to maximize the potential of your ERS. If you already get one boost, you may as well put in the other. It becomes more than just the sum of its parts. You see Davison here, he probably want to try something. Make use of these tires while they're there. Or you could try and hope that inevitable side-by-side action would lead you to the front. Almost make a pathway to it. And if you're Davies, you'll just want to stick where you are and hope that a certain Haas driver behind you isn't going to try and help out his teammate.
Nathan Marriott picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's another man to add to the penalty list. It seems like all the penalties are coming further down the grid. Lewis, I don't think is close enough this time either. You've kind of got to be within 0.3 of a second to get the job done down in towards turn number 1 without the DRS. But thankfully for Lewis, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore because the DRS has been enabled. And Avesta Badi will set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. This is Kyle Albert and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Nathan Marriott and Nils Hartl battling side by side. Albert and Marriott, of course, had their incident into this left-hander, but they're both back in the race, and Marriott has nudged the Ferrari through this section of the track as well. Now the Ferrari tucks up back behind Nathan Marriott, and look at this from Kyle Albert trying to be opportunistic up the inside. No, they'll all stay line astern. Albert's got the run here, and Nils Hartl potentially. No, the AlphaTauri has to stay behind for the time being. Now Jonathan Jurgensmeyer might have the run on Kyle Albert in towards the left-hander, but no, Cal Dulger sneaks up the inside. It seems like if one man does not go for the move, the man behind it will take it.
Yep. It's either eat or get eaten. And Gobadi is the one eating at the moment because he has got the move done on McLaren. Very much struggling since that restart. The medium seemed to not be the tyre for them. But Gobadi, considering that incident earlier, is in a good place. And there is a scenario where he could end up being a bit of a wild card in this because he is part of that lead train. You see that is headed by Rotenberg. And then you see McWilliams, yes, DRS. Is he going to use ERS? No, not yet.
Lewis is very comfortable at this point in the race. Very, very comfortable. And it doesn't seem like he's stressing, really, as he looks to take this race lead. He's looking scarily comfortable, almost. Scarily comfortable. But will he get too complacent, and that allows Tyler Davison to get the job done? But they're all running so close here on track. If one thing goes wrong, it could go wrong for a lot of them. And that's something I think you got to think about.
Yeah, when he's now topping out in the ERS, so logically you want to use them just to be able to then regenerate it back. But the situation here is he kind of thinks he can sit there. How long can you really sit there, though?
Yeah, we are on lap 16 out of 29. We're over halfway through this Qatari Grand Prix at the Lusail International Circuit. If you are enjoying the action, please pop a subscription on the YouTube channel. Make sure to like the video and check out all our other social channels. We post content almost daily, or at least we try to post it daily, but almost daily. So make sure you do go check that out. And as it stands, we will be going to Qatar, or we'll be going to Abu Dhabi, I should say, with this championship fight. The last time a championship fight went to Abu Dhabi in Formula Virtual Racing, it was in season number 1, where Aaron McFall won the Grand Prix and Danny Headcamper won the Drivers' Championship. Here comes Avesta Badi trying to get the job done on Borbune. He has. That was a fairly simple one. This is the Avesta Badi we remember. He is driving very well here today, especially considering he was sent down the back of that safety car.
Yep, and Kyle Albert making a move under the radar, which could be a couple of words that you would associate with him a lot. Under the radar, gets the move done, up to 10th. Obviously, Dunker is going to inherit that 10th or a point position after the penalties get applied, but the further he moves up here, the more guarantee you should be able to guarantee a point. I think if you can get past Yafin Panguru, it would solidify the points. We see Gubadi here. He's got one more car, and then it's Davies. Do you think Gubadi will have the pace to work with this top four?
Yeah,
Could he
I
be
think
a
so.
spanner in the works for Davies?
I don't see why not. He's going to get past Tim Denhire here down towards turn 1. I think that's almost inevitable. Yeah, I think that is inevitable. I think he will get past Tim Denhire and towards turn 1, and then he's got to catch up to Luke Davies. He's got to catch up to Luke Davies, though. He's got to get within that DRS. But that's Gubadi past Tim, and Tim just falls in behind. Tim, sensible, very, very... he's a sensible head on young shoulders, is Tim Denhire. And we've seen that countless times before this season and within this season. Of course, we look back to the 4 hours of Le Mans, where Tim Denhire was given driver of the race for an impressive 4-hour stint to bring home P4 for the Voluta Racing team. There's Tyler,
Davison
a little bit
starting
wide.
I think he just needs to bring it back in because he can keep with them, because it isn't like
calm.
Legend and Lewis
I think he's starting
pushing
to panic
that
a
much.
little bit as Jack Redmond picks up another 3-second time penalty. I think Tyler's got to stay calm here. I think he is starting to panic. He's got to just stay calm
Gubadi
and do what he's
in
doing.
range for the DRS.
Vesta's
This is
quick
the
here,
thing.
you know. And I think that's also starting to startle Luke Davies a little bit, because Avesta is quick here in this race. Luke knows Avesta can win this race because he won it last season. And if Avesta was to win this race, he'd be the only man to win at Qatar, because of course this is our second event. And I don't think anyone expected really Avesta to win this race.
I think if Vesta had been here in this championship Friday, it would have been more expected, but since he had the mess, he made a big mistake.
Here
at
comes Lewis
Italy on race
McWilliam.
ban.
Lewis McWilliam
Oh,
going for the race lead. Jack Redmond retires from the Grand Prix. But Lewis McWilliam is side by side here with
Davison
Legend
beat the
Rosenberg.
opportunity.
Davison looking to capitalise and get through as well. No for Davison, yes for McWilliam, who leads the Qatari Grand Prix at the Sale International Circuit. Lewis, he waited and waited but took his chance at the right point. Is Davison going to try and capitalise and get past Legend Rosenberg here as well? I don't think so. Tyler needs to outscore Luke to really stay in this one, whereas Legend, looking a little bit shaky, takes a little bit of a wobble there. If something were to happen to Legend, of course, Luke could wrap up the championship here today. We cannot forget that fact, that it can all be done here today, depending on what happens in these last 10 or so laps. Wow, this is exciting stuff as Conor Rochford side by side with Bor Bune here. Is Bune going to try the long way around the outside? No, Rochford picks up a penalty for his actions. Bune, though, going to dive up the inside. That move wasn't really on. Rochford is into 7th, but picks up a penalty for his troubles. Top 5 now all have DRS from each other, except Lewis McWilliam, of course, but that's because he's now in the lead of this race.
more of a gap than Rosenberg had, usually around this area of the track. So I think McWilliam really has got a bit of pace here.
He does,
You
you're
see
absolutely
now-
spot on. And one last time out, of course, for the first time this season. They say it's more difficult to win your first than your second. Lewis is trying to prove that correct, and despite all the pressure Tyler Davison was under, he's not under any in towards the best overtaking opportunity. Conor Rochford is, though, because here comes Bor Bune. He'll get the job done now. Couldn't get it done in the middle sector. Gets it done now, burned a lot of battery, and it looks like Jonathan Jurgensmeyer has lost a couple of spots. Oh my goodness me, it's an absolute multiple train carriages getting past Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. That's a Williams, and Aston Martin, and an Alfa Romeo who have just dispatched him on the main straight. Can Dulger and Nathan Marriott side by side. Big moves here for Can Dulger, who's looking to wrap up 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. He, of course, lost that 5th place for the first time in a long time to Enzo King last week. Enzo not here, though, and Can Dulger is looking to get as many points as possible in his absence. He gets ahead of Nathan Marriott. That's 10th spot. Nathan with a bit of a tank slapper, but Yathan Panguru was not able to capitalise. Yathan, of course, is just looking for a points-paying position here today. If I just take a quick look and remind myself, I believe, yes, this would be Yathan's first point. Only himself and Julius Gassner have not scored points this season, excluding, of course, debutant Conor Rochford and those who have not raced, their reserve drivers. Even Kyle Albert's got a point this season. As Tyler Bastilli bows out of proceedings, he is out of the race.
Yep, in the pits though, so no safety car, but what will become 9 laps to go once we cross the line. It's McWilliam. Rosenberg, Davison, Davies, Gobadi. Oh,
Here's
Tim
Legend.
Hires in the pits.
Wow, Tim is into the pit lane. Obviously feels those mediums will not go to the end of the race. Goes for a set of softs. That's scary for Tyler Davison, who's also on the exact same length of mediums. So is Avesta, so is Connor Rochford. Kyle 1 lap less, because of course he was able to get a bit of flexibility, I should say, with the safety car being last in this race. That's scary if you're Tyler Davison or you're Avesta Gobani, because for all the work he has done here, Tyler, he's not made any inroads in this race, whereas Avesta has made these mediums work, and he's up within a shout of the race win, or at least a podium.
Yeah, Davison, I would have been hoping to pass somebody on the restart, but he's kind of stayed put, and he just wonder if he starts to get drawn back into clutches. The only good news for him is he's got a bit more ERS than Davies, who is maybe feeling a need to use it here in sections of track that isn't, well, the main straight. I think the ERS situation is very much McWilliam and Rosenberg are waiting for the last couple of laps. They know they've got pace, but Davison, Davies, Gobadi, they have to try to keep up here, otherwise they'll just fall back and it'll be curtains for their hopes of a good result.
Here comes Legend Rosenberg. No, sits behind for the time being. I think Legend could be waiting for the last lap here. But the thing is, if he waits too long, will those behind him get impatient and maybe do something silly? I don't think any of them would, because there's a lot at stake here. But we will have to see how Legend how Legend's going to play this one out. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how this goes. But you'd wonder, is Gobadi going to try something? Now that if I'm not mistaken, he is not really a factor in the championship anymore.
No, he's not. He's unfortunately mathematically eliminated because he's only on 93 points. Sorry, I was wondering why Luke had gained more points since this morning, but Brendan's live updating our spreadsheet. I was so confused how Luke had gained points between when I made all the graphics yesterday and now, but that makes sense. We'll bring them up on your screen so I can remind myself. Luke's on 140, Avesta is still on 93, so he is out mathematically. As it stands, Tyler Davison is also out mathematically come the checkered flag, so he's got to win this race pretty much, and he's got to hope something happens to Luke. One thing that might happen to Luke here is that he loses the position to Avesta Gobadi. It's a mature drive from Luke nonetheless, but he's not going to wrap it up here today.
Yeah, I'm going to just check quickly the fastest lap, because actually that belongs to Distilly, but when he's out, so
you won't get that point. That'll null and void the point, I believe.
Yeah, actually, so that's a point.
But I do presume Tim Denhart is going to take it before the end of this race, because he is on the softs and everyone else is on wretched old hard or medium compound tires. So I mean, if I was Tim Denhart, that's what I would do, as it looks like that is Nils Hartl actually getting past his fellow German Yathin Baguru.
And I would say, unless there's a late safety car here, which you never know,
would be fun.
Could happen.
That would be really fun. I'd like that.
Oh, that would be chaotic. And
yeah,
somebody's championship will probably go up in smoke.
There'd be a few incident tokens used. That'd be for sure. Sorry, that's our new stewarding system. If you're wondering what it is for those watching at home, it's basically to eliminate the pointless stewards reports. And I mean, it's worked. As much as the drivers complained about it initially, it's absolutely worked. We only had 2 last week. But is this going to be Legend Rosenberg going for the race lead towards? He lifts off at the last point every time, and it scares the life out of me consistently.
I know he scares McWilliam as much.
Probably not. Lewis has ice in the veins, as a popular FIFA streamer would say.
Oh.
That's a pie face reference on Formula Virtual Racing, first of its kind.
Oh my. Oh, we have Candover passing Kyle Albert.
Yes, job done for the Aston Martin can is Oh, actually, I don't think he will overtake Enzo Kings. That could be an interesting battle come Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, there are some battles down the field that could be very, very interesting. As you see, there is a huge discrepancy between the top 4, well, plus Thomas Main, but he's
Yeah, Thomas is on another
reserve.
sabbatical. We'll see him come season 13, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We like having
well,
Thomas. He is quick, but he just does have a tendency to leave when the going may get tough. But nonetheless, we are on lap 24-29 here at the Qatar Grand Prix. If you're enjoying the action, make sure to pop a subscription on the stream. We love having your viewership here on this race. Is anyone going to go for it? Nope. Gets to the 150 and lifts off religiously. Is it to save battery? Well, I mean, Lewis has a similar amount, but Legend, of course, will have that DRS assistance come the last lap. The top 4 just running their own races all together here, snaking their way round. This could all easily kick off come lap 27, 28, 29, and I think it will. Maybe more so the latter of those laps come the last lap, but Legend might be forced into a move here. In terms of battery, the worst in the top 5 is actually Luke Davies, your championship leader.
I just want to make the point here. Oftentimes, it just feels between Rosenberg and McWilliam, it's really like, you know, in World War II, there was a period called the Phony War, where from September 1939 to May 1940, nothing much happened. And obviously, then things kicked off, but it was the case now that these two are, I think, waiting until someone makes a move.
That's
And
the
in this
maddest
case-
reference I've ever heard on one of these from. That's mental. That's crazy. You can tell Brendan did
It's
leave it to
correct.
history. Here comes Vestigo Badi. Luke's had a shocker out of the final corner or into the final sector, and that is a Vestigo Badi who has overtaken Luke Davies. Luke is now at the back of this train here
Again.
as
It's happened.
Rosenberg just sits behind and is just, I wonder, should we say he's just maybe prodding the cattle at this point? And he's just, he's just reminding Lewis, I'm here, don't get comfortable, I'm here, I'll be going for the move eventually, you just won't know when. But we know when, it's going to be the last lap surely, because if he went for it any sooner, he'd lose his DRS assistance for the final lap, and that would be a little bit silly. But Luke Davies down to 5th, still, unfortunately, not low enough for Tyler Davison. He would still be eliminated for now, but if something went wrong for Lewis and Legend and Tyler was to inherit a win here, he would be able to stay in championship contention if it stayed like
Davison
that.
needs 2 points.
So he needs two. So he needs a
He
position
needs
really,
two.
because it's 14 for third and 16 for
Yes.
second. So he needs second place here. He needs to get ahead of Legend.
Hang on, no, wait. Hold on. If he's 100, Luke Sakarian will be 150 as it stands, Davison 126. That's a gap of 24. Max, you get 23. Yeah, I think he would need 2 based on races won, because Davies has multiple race wins.
Yeah, Tyler has none.
Davison has none.
Okay, very intriguing there to hear that. So, Tyler, like realistically, if he wants a chance, obviously mathematically he'll still have a chance, but if he wants a chance to actually win it, he needs to win the race here. That will put him in a really comfortable position. How he wins the race from this point onwards, it would only be if Legend and Lewis got too caught up with each other and he was able to sneak through come the last lap. Because his
think
tyres
in a world
will
where
be
that
arguably worse come now than the hard tyres will be. And he is doing a good job. He's doing a stellar job, mind you, on those medium tyres, as is the Vestigo Badi. Luke is experiencing a bit of a pace deficit here. He's being dropped by the train. He's the first man to be dropped by this train since that safety car restart, but he is being dropped.
Yeah,
And Tyler is also being dropped here, mind you, by the front two. Gap is almost 9/10 of a second. Lewis and Legend are burning their battery here. Their plan is to drop Tyler Davison and have their own battle here. There is definitely a bit of unity between these two because they've upped the ante. It's like in the 10,000 metres at the Olympics. You get to that third or second last lap, and those who think they're quicker and know they're quicker, they will start getting quicker. I think there could be a big drop-off point here for the mediums. Tyler's gone. He's headed DRS. This is drastic
No,
for
he's
Tyler.
still
Oh,
got
he
it,
just
just
about got it. That's crucial. That's absolutely crucial. Is Legend going to go for the race lead here? Is he going to sit behind? Legend Rosenberg has launched his attack. He has been waiting and waiting. But Legend Rosenberg, come the penultimate lap of the Qatari Grand Prix, has taken the race lead to save his championship endeavour. Right now, as it stands, the championship will move on to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And here comes Avestigo Birdie to once again sicken Tyler's woes. He's now onto the podium.
Yeah, that is bad news. He obviously needs to be making positions, not losing them. All it is now is he's just outside. Like, it's tantalisingly close to staying in there, but no. Now it's not going to happen. He needs Davies to go off the road now at this point.
Yeah, and I don't think Luke is going to do that. I think Luke would rather get it home in 5th place here and lose a little bit to Legend than lose everything by trying to get 4th or something. But the gap is 1/10 of a second as we head through the triple right-handers for the penultimate time. Turn number 14, it's 15 and 16, and then one more lap after that for Lewis McWilliam and Legend Rosenberg. The old foes are going at it once again. We haven't seen this battle all season, really. We're about to see it now. Legend Rosenberg leads us on to the last lap at the Lusail International Circuit. Is Lewis McWilliam close enough?
Wait, what's going on here?
Not sure he is close enough here, but here comes Luke Davies to get past Tyler Davison and to kill one of his championship rivals. Davison is almost eliminated from contention. Lewis is now 2/10 of a second behind. I honestly think here Lewis was trying to just let Legend use everything up for when he thought he was going to post the attack, and Lewis will try post the attack in the 3rd sector, because I think that is where Lewis could be quickest. We saw him get really close on the final lap, but 3/10 of a second is the gap between the Haas and the Ferrari. Lewis definitely wants to take a second win here of the season. He's not going to race in Abu Dhabi, so this is Lewis's final race of season 11 for the Scuderia Ferrari team, who of course won for the first time last season since season 6, I should say. 1.5 more sectors to go as they exit the corner. It's looking like Lewis McWilliam might be saving this for a run to the long, and he's going to need an almighty run through the triple right-handers here if he's able to get close to the Dutchman in front. Oh, he is quick through the triple right-handers, mind you. The Ferrari-man is good through that sector. He needs to push through this final or penultimate corner. No, he's not close enough. The class of Legend Rosenberg is going to see him succeed at the Lusail International Circuit. Abu Dhabi awaits for the mighty Dutchman. He will stay in contention, and Luke Davies and Legend Rosenberg will battle it out in Abu Dhabi and Yas Island to become the Season 11 Championship winner. Unfortunately, it is the end of the road for AlphaTauri's the AlphaTauri driver of Tyler Davison's endeavour. He is eliminated from contention. AlphaTauri not eliminated from the constructors, though. That is very unfortunate for the Briton. He did need a miracle, however. Conor Rochford comes home in 6th place. That's not to be looked over. A great debut performance by him. Cam Dulger then in 7th. Borbune in 8th. Nathan Marriott in 9th. And Tim Denhire in 10th.
Yeah, but we know our two-way battle now, and as it stands, and in checking a fastest lap, that still ended up with Tyler Pastilli, so it is going to be a 9-point gap for Rosenberg to make up, and that will be... I think he has the race win head-to-head here, especially with this one now to come.
Oh yeah, he definitely would.
So,
he definitely would. I think Luke's only got 2. That would be Monaco and Monza.
Yeah.
9 points is a lot, though. 9 points is a lot. Legend would probably rather it closer. Legend would probably rather that Tyler Davison stayed ahead of Luke Davies there, because at least 7 would be maybe a little bit more feasible.
No, 7 would all mean is there's 1 car between them. Now you need minimum 2.
Oh yeah, we upped the points from the win, didn't we? I forgot about that.
Yes,
I forgot there was there's 6 points between 1st and 2nd instead of 4. But here is your Qatari Grand Prix race results. It is Legend Rosenberg who takes the win, Lewis McWilliam in 2nd. Then it is Avestigo Birdie, Luke Davies, Tyler Davison, Conor Rochford, Cam Dulger. Then it is Borbune, Nathan Marriott, and Tim Denhire. Then it is Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Nils Hartl, Julius Gassner, Kyle Albert, Yafin Guru, and your non-finishers were Tyler Pastilli and Jack Redmond. we're going to go for some post-race interviews, I think, folks. I think we'd love to hear from some of the guys. Let's hear from all three, perhaps. Let's bring in Legend, Lewis and Avesta. Hello, gentlemen. Legend, Lewis and Avesta, of course, your podium. We'll start with our race winner. For a man who didn't think he was racing today, a race win is not half bad, Legend.
No, indeed, it's a good result. Yeah, I think the race was very hard, but managed to win, so I'm happy.
Now, of course, you have crucially brought the title battle to a championship finale between yourself and Luke Davies. 9 points is the gap. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's better than before the race tonight. So yeah, if next week goes exactly the same like today, then I think we should win the championship. It's going to be hard, but anything can happen. Just look like to today, and yeah, I don't know. Anything can happen. So I'm looking forward to the last race.
In terms of today, you sat behind Lewis for a lot. Was it tactical that you were just going to go for him late in the race, or was it just how it worked?
Yeah, obviously it was a little bit like that. I was just trying to stay behind, save tires, save ERS, and then go in the last laps for a move. Obviously we were in a party together, so we kind of were working together just to make sure we stayed in front and not battle too much. And yeah, it worked out. So that brought us the podium, actually the 1-2 with Lewis, which actually feels good again to work together with him, because we worked so much together in the past, and today again, and we prove if we work together, then yeah, we are on the top step.
Brendan, any questions?
I think have a look at here. See 9 point gap. You really see need a car between yourself and Luke to wrap up this championship, because I think if Davies gets P2, that's what he needs. So do you think, obviously P1 next week Abu Dhabi, you'd be happy enough with that track? Is there anything you'd be worrying you about in your championship fight? Do you think might be anyone who could cause you trouble, or do you think it's just all in your own hands really, and you just can't worry about anything else?
Yeah, well, it's always in my own hand in the first place, but again, I think I really need somebody like today, like Lewis and Avesta, to get in a fight with us, and get between me and Luke to make it work. But I'm just gonna try and do my own race next week, try to pull away and win the race, and whatever happens behind me, if it's in my favor, I'm happy. If it's in Luke's favor, yeah, well, it is what it is, and we'll push even harder next season.
Thank you very much, Legend. If you could stay with us for a couple of moments, because I think we're going to bring Luke in. We'll get a word from you both. So if you have the time, we'd love if you could stay. If you can't, obviously, that's more than okay. Lewis McWilliam, second place for you. First and second in 2 weeks. That's not bad for a man who maybe hasn't been able to fully commit this season.
Yeah, it's great. It almost felt like it was season 5, season 4 again, the Legend. I kind of had to play the supporting role, I suppose, but I feel like he could have won himself anyway if he wanted to. But yeah, it was good to work together again. Same as he said, it worked so well. Pretty much every time we work together, it ends up with a 1-2. But it's just brilliant. Yeah, it's just great, to be honest.
You obviously won't be racing next week, I believe, in Abu Dhabi. Are you excited to see both of your former title rivals having a bit of a scrap?
I mean, yeah, I've gone against them both in championship finales and beat them both.
I was going to say beat them both. Make sure to remember that.
So yeah, it's championship finales are different to any other race. You're kind of having a 1-on-1 and just having a bunch of the other cars that really matter. It's just kind of a 1v1. I mean, I feel like if I raced, I'd play a big part in it because I feel like I can get behind Legend and between them and get amongst them and battle them. But I mean, it'll be better to watch, I think, than it is to race in it. As much as I like to be involved in things, but think, I think there was. I think if Legend wins, Luke's need to finish fourth or lower. Tyler's not going to go in front of Luke. Avasta will go in front of Luke, but it's going to be difficult for Legend to find two people who can get between him and Luke because I hardly doubt Tyler's going to go between them. Tyler will let Luke through, I can imagine. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for Legend because I don't think there's really two drivers that can stand out, beat Luke on pace, and be between them. But yeah, I know it is what it is.
Brendan, any questions for the Scotsman?
So would you have any advice for McWilliam or sorry, any advice for
We all know he's no advice for himself.
either? No, sorry, I mean, any advice for either of these two? Considering you have managed to beat them both, but you also know.
I mean, I was
like
I was fortunate. I went into mine either ahead or equal on points. Coming from behind, obviously a lot more difficult, but again, Legend's got the pace to do it. So I think in terms of this championship finale, I think Luke's got more pressure on him because Luke's got to step up and perform against the best driver in the league. So I mean, Legend's going to go out there and with no issues, no safety cars, Legend's going to cruise out to the win. And then Luke's got the job to do, but obviously Legend's got the pace and he's just so good with everything. I mean, he was 10% last tyre wear than me today. That's just ridiculous. And he just doesn't stop. He's just got the most pace of anyone and he's so consistent. But I mean, we both know they're both capable of doing it, but it depends who does it on the day, I suppose.
Lewis McWilliam, thank you very much for joining us. Now we'll go to the third place man, Avesta Gobati. Avesta, it's great to have you back. Maybe a bit of a difficult start to the race today with a poor qualifying and then, of course, the incident with your teammate. But you worked through that field so well on the safety car restart. And now you're here with us again and taking third place.
Yeah, it's been, I think, one of the hardest races this season, I guess, in terms of catching up to the field. Because there were many overtakes I had to do. And yeah, in qualifying I had pedal issues. And then at the start of the race, I had no force feedback. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, I crashed into my teammate, which is not ideal, I guess. But he just spawned in front. I couldn't avoid him. But lucky there was a safety car at least that bunched up the field. And yeah, I was quite saving the tires, the mediums at the end, because I didn't think they could have made it till the end. With Legend, Lewis, and Luke on hards. I thought they were going to be a lot faster, but luckily the mediums were quite good. They were quite durable, actually. I was quite surprised at how they managed to reach it to the end. And then some risky moves, some bold moves, and saving the ERS helped a lot. And yeah, it was hard, but at least I'm glad to be back racing. It's been a while since I didn't race, so it's a good warm-up, let's say, but it was ideal. It was more than a warm-up. It was P3 podium, which was more than I could have asked.
We just heard Lewis say that what's the best way I can put this, will maybe slightly be steered towards Legend winning the championship next week in Abu Dhabi. Firstly, are you joining us for Abu Dhabi? And secondly, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I will race in Abu Dhabi for sure. And well, it's hard to say because first I want to do my own race. I want to race for myself. I don't want to race for in towards any other driver. But I'll see what I can do. But I know I have a lot more, not a lot, but I don't want to be bold. I think I have good pace. I'm pretty confident in P2, P3, but Abu Dhabi is not my best track. I just hope the best driver wins, but it's been unlucky for Legend because he lost many points because of me and because of some difficulties, issues. But this is what Formula One is, to be honest. And Luke was just consistent, so I'll be more towards to myself than Legend and Luke. But we'll see. It's going to be very hard for Legend. Obviously, Luke will have, well, he has quite an advantage. 9 points is a lot actually in equal cars, equal conditions. So I don't know. I hope the best driver wins, and yeah, we'll see. If it doesn't work out to Legend, then unlucky. If it works out for anyone else, I don't know. Maybe none of them finish. Who knows? This is Formula One.
Thank you very much, Avesta, for joining us. We greatly appreciate that. Now we will just bring in your, well, where did you finish? You finished fourth, but we will bring in Luke Davies just for a second because we do have a title finale next week in Abu Dhabi. Legend and Luke, have you any final words for each other before you duel it out around Yas Island?
Well, it's been a great season, but Legend's coming for my crown, and I'm not ready to let it go yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, oh. Legend, anything to say about that?
Yeah, not much. We'll see on Abu Dhabi.
Well, next week, of course, in Abu Dhabi, ladies and gentlemen, you can check out the title finale, which we will have live. We'll have plenty of media coverage about it. It's our first title finale since season 9, where Lewis McWilliam narrowly beat Luke Davies. Luke is looking to win a title finale come round 12 of a season. So we will wait and see. His last title was won under the night sky. Can he do it again in Abu Dhabi? Brendan, I think we're going to have a corker next week.
yeah, should be very, very interesting here. See, I think what the scenario Legend needs would be to have someone between himself and Davies. We do remember in Abu Dhabi that Hamilton did try to back up Rosberg into Vettel and Verstappen. So
Rosenberg,
you have to
Rosberg,
wonder if there's ever a situation.
not far off each other, really.
Well, I think they're wearing different pairs of shoes in this case. So
Legend, what size shoe are
knows?
you?
Sorry?
What size shoe do you wear?
Well, it's 43, but I don't know what is this in UK. I have no idea.
Yeah, 43 is okay.
hang on.
I am
That's
googling Nico
about
Rosberg's
the-
size shoe. I want to see.
That's
Do they wear
an
the same
8,
shoes?
I think.
Anything to
It's an 8.
debunk Brendan would be more than welcome. Unfortunately,
No,
Nico
yeah.
Rosberg's size shoe is not commonly available on the internet. I'm surprised at that. Thought it would
Small
be.
enough for people. It's probably small enough feet. It could be an 8, probably similar.
Nico Rosberg, 5'10". Actually, he's actually smaller than myself. That's weird. Is
okay.
he? Oh, sorry. What UK size did you say? You was Brendan?
It'd be an 8 because I'm 10 and I have a 4. Europe is 45.
Oh, Nico
Nike's very
Rosberg's a
good that way.
7.5. So Legend would not be able to wear the same shoes as Nico Rosberg. That's what we've learned here.
Why are we discussing?
On that note, we will leave that. Legend and Luke, we wish you the best of luck next week in that title finale, and I'm sure everyone watching will enjoy it as well. Actually, our views increased when we started talking about shoes, Brendan. So, I think we need to start a Nike trainer podcast, but that's a discussion for next week. We're going to leave you with a word from our title sponsors, Simulus Clothing, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for that title finale. My name's been Evan. Brendan's been alongside me. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.
Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion.
This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.